Thank you and welcome for tuning in once again to 28 Days, where we're celebrating our heritage, our culture, our history, and our stories. And today, as promised, we have another distinct guest with us in the studio. Welcome to the set, Dr. Leonard Jameson.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, Alex. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Jameson, give people a background on who you are.
Well, I've spent over 25 years as a leader in higher education and nonprofit management, and have spent most of that time opening pathways and portals for persons to enter into college education, successfully graduate, and move on to those areas of their life, of their calling and their gifting.
So what cultural context did you grow up in?
Well, I grew up in North Philadelphia.
North Philly, okay.
I'm from North Philadelphia. And in fact, my first time out was my undergraduate years were at Franklin and Marshall.
Okay.
And my mentor at that time was our congressman,
Wow.
the Reverend William H. Gray III.
Okay.
And he was a graduate of Franklin and Marshall. And so my grandmother knew of his father and grandfather, and said, I know he went to Franklin and Marshall. So I took the Amtrak train there, and it was one of the best experiences of my life then. But I had challenges there,
Okay.
both being acculturated,
Okay.
and finding the work and the life of being in a majority white campus. It gave me, though, the impetus to do what I have done over the last 25 years, which is to make sure there are more of us,
Okay.
to make sure we know how we do what we do when we get there in terms of studying. But I found that there are about 4 pillars or 4 hindrances
Okay.
for those who are first-generation college students and who are African American, and the challenges of being poor and being in higher education. One is academic preparation.
Okay.
The other is financial resources. The other is social acclimation, and the last is emotional support and stability. And so, in understanding that from my experience at F&M, I've really extrapolated that through all of life in terms of mentoring, as well as developing programs. Most recently, as founding dean of the People for People Institute at Eastern University.
Well, I want to unpack that social and that emotional component as you navigated up to Franklin and Marshall. Could you expound on that?
Oh, yeah. Coming from North Philadelphia, in a little area called Nicetown, Tioga.
Good name.
Yeah. It was nothing like I had experienced, being with those who were coming from some of the best prep schools and high schools and what they called bedroom communities.
Okay.
They weren't upper middle class; they were upper class.
Okay.
Many of them, and so looking at the wealth and the whole depth of what they've experienced in their life from their wealth to their social climate and so forth. I didn't know that there were differences, actually, even there in terms of some of the differences. Those who were from certain families and from certain neighborhoods and certain zip codes, and those who had those who were of different religions, and they were even stratified along those. Okay. And that was a fascinating experience too. That was unlike my experience in Philadelphia.
So as you help people and students matriculate being in leadership positions, what are some things that you help them navigate through your experience of all these years, and how you have taken things from Franklin and Marshall to help students in your areas of expertise? Well,
first, I tell those that I've mentored, plus those who I've had the opportunity to advise and move forward, when they conceive of their life, they have to, one, look at their life as they are the CEO of.
Okay.
For instance, if I was saying to young Alex Evans as a freshman, I said, you are the CEO of Alexander Evans, LLC. You decide who will be on board with you. You will decide what you will invest in. You will decide how and what resources that you're going to need in order to meet the goals that you've established in your life. And you have to set those goals and those strategies. And you've got to be proactive around those things and not expect persons to be to see you as the center of their lives. You are the center of your drama. And you can determine then how you will proceed in those things and get those around. And teaching them how to take ownership of their lives and plan it in such a way that they meet the goals that they've established for themselves. And I help them establish those as well. And to really calm down, look at their lives through stages, their ages, stages, and phases. At the age that they're coming in at 17, 18 years old, they're literally in the first quarter of their lives, their adult lives. And so there are going to be things they don't even know. I thought that I was going to come in and be a lawyer. I had decided from the time I was 10 years old till the time I got there, which was a very long time then, it was half my life, that I was going to be an attorney. Because when I had read history books about those who I was interested in our culture, there were pastors and ministers who then led. In their culture, it seemed to be lawyers. Many of the presidents, many of those who had done some significant things were lawyers. So I went to my alma mater to become an attorney. And so I thought that was it. One of the most interesting things is that there were other professions. There were other lives or other worlds that were, and other fields of interest and activity and livelihood that could take me to the same place, because I ultimately wanted to be able to help people, just like I was helped. I'm a product of, I was a foster kid.
Wow.
But I wasn't in and out of the system. I was raised by my late mother's godmother and her daughter.
Wow.
And they took me home from the hospital, Temple University Hospital, and raised me on Smedley Street, and spoiled me and wanted the best for me, and raised me in church. And so what I was sharing with that acclamation point is that if students can find a way to tap in to all of the persons that are where they want to be, and to experience those and stretch themselves beyond what they had conceived of originally, there's no telling where they can go, because they haven't seen it yet. Yeah. That first quarter, that second quarter, when they are out in that first quarter, through their 20s, of course, they're trying to find themselves, see what fits, see what's going on as they're moving out into the world of work. Today, people change their particular employers, let alone their careers, on several times before they actually find that thing that fits. And then even when they find that thing that fits, that major, that career, that field of endeavor, they may actually move into another phase. And so to always be open and always be ready to receive what life is bringing.
Wow. As we wrap up, what are some ways people can get in contact with you?
Well, they can reach me at, use this email address, ljameson.landmark@gmail.com, ljameson.landmark@gmail.com. And if they email me there, I'm managing director and president of Landmark Management Group.
Okay.
And we do consulting with nonprofits, and we multiply and sustainable programs for nonprofits that are doing social service and urban work, bringing schools like Eastern University and other schools that we've traveled to work and do on-site programs that give them the academic preparation, give them the social acclimation, give them the financial resources and a plan that gets them to where they want to go and helps them in their emotional support. You met one of the persons you've spoken to earlier that we developed at People for People Institute, programs that take people who are first generation and bring them into through the program. So retention is an issue, and so I deal with that as well. So we moved our people's retention from around 35 to 40% retention to 75 to 80% retention of their undergraduate program into graduation. And so I'd love to have the opportunity to continue to work with different organizations and persons who are looking to do work like that.
Yeah, man, this is good. This is really good. Hey, listen, I'm inspired. I might have to give him a call. Hey, we appreciate you once again tuning in. For 28 days, where we're celebrating our history, our heritage, and our culture, and sharing stories that can impact people to overcome the tragedy and the triumph in the midst of disappointment and those kind of things. But man, this is I'm really inspired by this. So hey, tune in tomorrow. As promised, we will bring another distinguished guest, and we look forward to you tuning in tomorrow again. Have a great day.